What's up, guys? JP back at you for day number 5 in my 6th annual 31 Days of Horror. This is a series in which we watch and review 31 horror films in 31 days, all during the month of October. And day number 5 is a very interesting title. I actually fired up the old Netflix and caught the brand new Gerald's Game. Gerald's Game is a Stephen King adaptation directed by Mike Flanagan. I believe this was a short story. It was a film that people were talking about adapting for a very long time, but for whatever reason it never materialized, and I think it has something to do with the subject matter. So this film follows a middle-aged husband and wife who are on their way to their summer home, their vacation home, to get away, unwind, and try to rekindle their marriage that is clearly suffering. They decide to do a bondage type scenario in which the husband, Gerald, handcuffs the wife to the bedposts, and they're going to engage in some, love making. And unfortunately, and this isn't really a spoiler, Gerald has a heart attack during this scene. Now the wife is left handcuffed to the bed, and it must suck really bad because this is basically what she's left to deal with. This is a contained horror film. It's a horror film that you are mostly focusing on one character and one place. There are maybe some like flashbacks and stuff like that. I really do not want to spoil a whole lot, so I'm not going to really get into it, but let's just say that this ordeal is playing on her mind. Dehydration, hunger, fear, paranoia, all of this stuff is happening to her. It's a story of survival, and these are my type of movies. I absolutely love Gerald's Game. From the opening scene where they, actually put on the handcuffs, and you can just see this uncomfortable feeling, and knowing what is eventually going to happen. Everybody kind of knew the basic synopsis to this film. It got my anxiety going. Like I felt like I was trapped in the handcuffs. It was a very well shot scene. The tension and suspense is on point in this one. The acting is great, and I gotta say, guys, the story is top notch. There's certain aspects of this film that you could have probably left out, told the basic same story, still had an effective film, but Mike Flanagan and the filmmakers actually took a little bit of risks here, added in a little bit of taboo subjects, and all of a sudden you have a masterfully woven story that is a contained horror film that really, is not much. There's not much of a location here. It's one room, and to tell this story in its effective way like this film did was very impressive to me. I especially like the risks and the balls that Netflix had to include certain aspects of this film, because they could have easily been wrote out of the script. And I'm not exactly sure what's in the original short story, but I gotta say, this feels like a great movie, so I imagine it is a great adaptation as well. But hey, there's always The Shining, you know what I mean? So, love Gerald's Game. I don't want to talk too much about it because I think people should go in as blind as possible. If you haven't seen it, hop on Netflix, check out Gerald's Game, because it was a awesome time. I really thought the suspense and the paranoia and just the uncomfortable nature, and honestly the riskiness of the film, the taboo subjects, there's some interesting stuff in this one. I'm gonna come in at a 9 out of 10 on Gerald's Game. Very solid film. Highly recommend it. See you guys tomorrow with day number 6.